Good evening, happy Monday, and thank you for joining us. You are watching the 9 at Night. I'm Stephania Jimenez. First, we're going to start this a little differently now. We're going to take things outside. Yes, this is definitely jacket weather, and our temperatures are going to dip even more in a few days. Meteorologist Adam Caskey is going to help us prep for tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, some areas of fog, otherwise peaks of sunshine thereafter. 43 in the morning. By the afternoon, we're up to 58 degrees. Pretty quiet the next few days. Wednesday, 41 in the morning, 58 in the afternoon. Thursday actually will make it into the mid 60s by the noon hour. Shortly thereafter, temperatures fall off quickly. So Thursday afternoon and evening is when that colder air is going to be moving in. It's going to be windy with gusts up to 40 miles per hour and temperatures eventually settling in the upper teens by Friday morning. 18 around San Antonio. By Friday afternoon, just barely above freezing at 35. Another hard freeze Saturday morning at 20. But by the afternoon, we're up to 40. And on Christmas Day, it's going to be a cold morning at 22. However, the afternoon with sunshine should make it up to 50. Notice nothing but sunshine, no precipitation with this colder air.
You know, our first hard freeze of the year comes this week, so now is the time to prepare your house. Let's start with those outdoor pipes. Put some kind of insulation on them to protect them. Also, keep your inside faucets running at constant stream because a simple drip is not going to stop your pipe from freezing. Now, when it comes to the inside of your home, heating and cooling experts say that we should think about electrical safety.
If you have a space heater that's 10 years old, throw it away. Those things don't have built-in thermostats and stuff like that. Make sure you have a space heater of today's standards that have tilt protection.
Good idea. And to keep your home from getting too cold inside, you should cover all the areas where air gets in and also check your HVAC unit professionally every year. In other news now, the U.S. Supreme Court has temporarily blocked the lifting of the pandemic-era policy known as Title 42. That's the policy that allows the U.S. to remove migrants who are trying to come into the country right away. That decision is the result of a number of conservative states appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court before the limits are set to expire on Wednesday. And by the way, that could still happen. Speaking of that, this video here is giving us a closer look inside of a migrant processing facility in El Paso. Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez took that video, shows the crowds of people inside. A portion of Gonzalez's District 23 includes El Paso. Many of the migrants that you see here were covered by heat blankets. Others were just standing, waiting. Right now, border cities are in limbo. They thought that they were bracing for another surge of migrants when they thought Title 42 was going to expire this week. But as we just told you, that's on hold. Now, a lot closer to us, we know more about Friday's deadly crash in Boerne. The victim has been identified. He's Randolph Apps. According to Boerne police, the 64-year-old was driving his 1930s Ford Model Coupe when he lost control and hit the concrete barriers along I-10. That impact threw him from the car because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. We're also told that the car didn't have airbags or even modern suspension. 2 teens, 1 gun, lots of trouble. Now San Antonio police are trying to figure out what happened. So here's where it happened. Marbach Road near West Military Drive on the west side. Investigators say the teens were 16 and 17. They had a gun and it went off. The 16-year-old got hit in the chest. He's in the hospital. SAPD says the 17-year-old told them that he thought the gun wasn't loaded and that the safety was on. Right now he's facing an aggravated assault charge. Today marks 13 years since a teenager was shot and killed on the city's south side. But in this case, San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers are still looking for information. Officials say that someone shot 17-year-old Paul de Leon from another vehicle along the intersection of Fair Avenue and South New Braunfels on December 19th of 2009. So far, all police know is that the suspect's vehicle is a white Nissan Frontier truck. If you have any information on this, if you remember anything from that day, call Crime Stoppers. 210-224-STOP. Now switching gears, really scary stuff happened on 2 flights this week. The first was yesterday as a flight was going from Phoenix to Hawaii. More than a dozen people were sent to the hospital after unexpected turbulence sent them flying from their seats.
Started free falling for like 5 to 10 seconds. Everyone flew in the air, all luggages came out of the bins.
I thought, I don't think the plane will withstand this. I don't think we're going to make it.
Yeah, that is scary. That turbulence was about 30 minutes before they landed, and we know at least 20 passengers were hurt, including 3 flight attendants and a 14-month-old baby. One person lost consciousness, others suffered cuts to the head and also bumps and bruises.
This is the very reason that pilots like myself constantly warn you from the cockpit to keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you're in your seat, regardless of flight conditions.
So we just told you about turbulence on that flight from Phoenix to Hawaii. Well, today there was a similar situation on a flight from Rio de Janeiro. That plane landed in Houston this morning. 2 passengers and 3 crew members were injured and are expected to be okay. Still scary. In its final public hearing, the January 6th committee decided to refer former President Donald Trump and others to the Justice Department to face criminal charges. The committee says it believes that evidence from its investigation shows the former president was responsible for the deadly attack. The panel says that the referrals are based on several criminal charges, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S., obstruction of an official proceeding, and also inciting insurrection. But the committee is also aware that the charges are really all up to the Department of Justice. So if the Justice Department wants to ignore those referrals, it can. So let's switch and talk about good news. Good news at the gas pumps this holiday season. The national average for a gallon of regular gas is now at $3.14. That's according to AAA. And by the way, that's down 54 cents from last month. And we really haven't been this low since July of 2021. Analysts at GasBuddy.com say the national average could actually fall below $3 a gallon by the time Christmas Eve hits. Now, AAA says that 21 states are already there, and that includes us right here in Texas. On Thursday, AAA reported the average price for a gallon of gas was $2.65, but we're doing better than that in San Antonio because right here we're at $2.52 a gallon. Now, recall alert. We're talking about raw oysters from Texas, cat food from H-E-B, and at-home COVID tests. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz tells us what to look out for, starting with the oysters and a lot of sick people.
Texas raw oysters may now be linked to 211 illnesses. The CDC is investigating the outbreak that's hit 8 states. The Texas Health Department has recalled all oysters harvested from Galveston-based Texas 1 area since November 17th. They may be contaminated with norovirus, a very contagious stomach flu. Restaurants have been ordered not to serve them. Don't feed this H-E-B cat food to your pet. It might make him sick. TFP Nutrition is recalling certain 16-pound bags of H-E-B Texas Pets Indoor Complete dry cat food because of possible salmonella. Look for November 13th on the package code. Contact TFP Nutrition for a new bag or refund. COVID test alert. The company Detect Inc. is recalling more than 11,000 of its at-home COVID tests because false test results aren't reliable. The use-by date is January 1st. Too hot. 30,000 of these Good Matters 3-wick candles are recalled because they can burn too hot and break. A few have caught fire. They come in various colors and scents and were sold at Home Goods Tuesday morning and Amazon. We have the lot numbers and more details on all of these recalls on our website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, before we go, I have a question. How do you feel about holiday candy? It's getting lots of attention because today has been marked as a day to remember and appreciate some classics. It's National Hard Candy Day. So the candies have really have a long history, back to a time when lemon drops and peppermints were often prescribed as remedies for stomach ailments. Now, by the mid-1800s, more than 400 companies made hard candies, and now, well, you know, the selection is just endless. We're talking Lifesavers to Dum Dum Pops, lots of others. And in 2015, the Jolly Rancher passed Werther's Original Butterscotch as the top-selling hard candy. I still like the original. Butterscotch is still pretty good. We're out of time. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow. Have a beautiful night, and please stay warm.